Hey guys, JDR Exospace, and we are back here again to continue this story of the alleged molecular biologist who posted anonymously on a thread on Reddit and gave extensive detail about his work studying alien bodies, recovered alien bodies at Fort Detrick, Maryland, in a secure lab. Now, if you saw my last video, you saw the full breakdown of me reacting to the morphology, the DNA studies that were performed by this individual, allegedly. But this time I really wanted to take a different look at who this person might be and whether or not his story really checks out. So let's take a look at his post again, and we're going to go into some more detail here. All right, so this person claims to be a molecular biologist working for a national security contractor in a program to study exobiospheric organisms. Now, this particular fact may be important because one of the claims that have been made about why it's so hard to track down any information about these programs and why Congress might not know about it is a lot of this material is actually in the hands of private contractors and not government officials themselves. So maybe it adds a little bit of credibility to the argument, I don't know. But he claims to be a molecular biologist working for a private contractor, and I just wanted to read a little bit about who he says he is, and we'll see if this story checks out and why I think it may not be a hoax. So here he says, the reason for disclosing these secrets is quite simple. I believe that every human being has the right to know the truth, and that to progress, humanity needs to divest itself of certain institutions and organizations that will probably not survive these revelations in the long term. I'm aware that I'll have very little impact in this regard, but I still believe that small leaks are necessary to break the dam of misinformation on this subject. When the governments will eventually reveal these secrets, there will undoubtedly be a societal upheaval. But in my opinion, the longer we wait, the worse it will be. I choose to divulge what I know anonymously out of selfishness for the well-being of myself and my family. I'm aware that this diminishes the reach and credibility of my message, but it's the furthest I'm willing to go. I chose this forum because it offers a good compromise between anonymity and popularity. In order to protect my anonymity, I will be purposefully vague or even contradictory about any information that could identify me, such as date, education, role, etc. I'll even introduce red herrings in this respect. I want to make it clear that any information related to the subject of the research will not be treated in this way. This is a lot of important information, mainly that he doesn't want to come forward because he's worried about repercussions. And I really think that this is the reason why we're just now beginning to get information about aliens and UFOs to the extent that we are. If you use Roswell as your origination point for our government's experience with UFOs and aliens, which may or may not be the case, there's been essentially a taboo on this for 70, 80 years, where anybody in the military that came forward with these stories risked their career, risked their livelihood by speaking out openly about it. Some of those things have changed now with the new Whistleblower Act and Congress, at least certain members of Congress, actively encouraging people to come forward with this kind of information. Whoever this person is, if this is not a hoax, is clearly worried about going public with this, which is why he released it on a Reddit thread. Again, that's not to say that this couldn't be a hoax, but we'll go into detail a little bit later about why I don't think it is and some of the logical reasons why I don't think it's a hoax. But I wanted to go a little bit further down here because he actually got into a question and answer period, and that's when some of his question and answer phase of his post where he was actually answering questions from people that were interested in this story. I can do a whole other video about some of the questions that he was asked and his responses, but I'll just read a few of these and then I'm going to go into why I don't think this is a hoax, okay? Question 1. Amazing story. Have you shared this with the Senate Select Commission on Intelligence or with AARO, and do you have evidence to back this up? His response. Thank you. No, I haven't, and no, I won't. It sounds like a honey trap to me. I will not place my life in the hands of politicians. I have no proof other than this message. I know it's not much, but it's what I'm prepared to offer. Again, scared of coming forward, but unlike David Grush with his whistleblower claim, whoever this person is claims to not have any proof, any classified documents that can back up what he's saying. So if you take this with a huge grain of salt, this might be a first-hand account, but he doesn't have any hard proof to back it up, which is why he's worried about basically putting himself out there publicly and being made to look like a fool. Because, if you don't have any proof, you come forward with a story like this, not only is the government going to pile on, but multimedia organizations, national media, local media, skeptics, everybody's going to pile on and try to make you out to be a fool. They're going to dissect your entire life and find something that they can use to make you seem less credible. So again, if this is true, his concern is well placed. I mean, we've seen it happen over and over and over. So maybe his concern isn't all that invalid. He goes into some other questions here, getting into like what he believes, or at least what he's heard, is the religion of these EBOs. But maybe we'll cover this in a different video, because this is I could talk for hours about just that specific component. So we're going to leave that for a later video. But I want to try to hone in on who this person might be and what was their motivation for this and why they're not coming forward and why they've deleted all of their accounts since. One of the mods of the Reddit thread, he says, as of 11:29 hours, this was 2 days ago, as I'm reading this, as of 11:29 hours, OP deleted their account. They refused to provide verification of their identity and or credentials. So take this right up for what you will. There's no way to verify any of the above, but it does make for an interesting read. I surmise there will be no further communications or replies in this thread from OP unless they make a new account. And he provides links, provides the receipts. So if we look at some of these, he says, we initially ran across this post in the auto mod, which it caught due to low karma. They approved it, but then, or one of the other mods approved it, but then realized that OP's comments were being auto removed. It wasn't until later that we figured out that their account was showing up as shadow banned. So we're going to click on this image. Again, receipts. Whoever this original poster was, named EBO Scientist A, you can see right here at the bottom, his account was shadow banned. Who shadow banned it? Why? I don't know. Okay, I don't like speculating, because this is where we start getting into conspiracy theory territory, and I try to approach these stories as a scientist. If this is true, what it means. Did somebody at Reddit shadow ban his account? Was it an accident? Was it government interference? Because this actually is a real whistleblower. I don't know. I don't want to speculate about that. I'll just leave it at the facts, which is his account was shadow banned. And also, if you dig into this a little deeper, this mod said I sent 2 messages, one to the admins at mod support and one to Reddit, but received no reply. Every reply you see in the thread from OP was manually approved by the mods here. We did make efforts to engage OP in mod mail. See here. We click on this link. Again, receipts. I don't even know if you can make this out because it is very blurry, but I'm going to try to read it here. Original poster. Hi, I tried to send the same message with another account and encountered the same problem. Something about an auto moderator that erases the message. So he's claiming it's not necessarily somebody, or at least what he thinks is, not necessarily somebody doing it on purpose, but an auto mod that's erasing his messages. He very quickly stops responding here. With the mod says, wait, here you are. Did you block the mod team or something? Your account isn't showing up when any of us try to go to it. The OP. This is disconcerting. Again, they try to reach back out to him. It looks like your account is shadow banned. Not sure why. I've reached out to Big Reddit and a group of site admins to see if we can do something about it. In the meantime, would you mind sending me verification of your work history? Not asking for direct proof of what you're claiming, because I doubt you have any due to security reasons, but pics of your degree, any kind of proof you actually were at Fort Detrick, or anything of that nature. We'll keep your identity private, but this will go a bit further if you're able to throw the mod verification tags up on the post in terms of your identity at least. The last response that we get from this OP before everything is deleted, he says, I don't feel comfortable giving out personal information, even indirect. Knowing all the weird things about what's happening to this account, I'm not sure who can view what I'm sending. Again, I don't like getting into speculation or conspiracy theory territory here. I'll just point out the facts, which are whoever this person is wrote that he was worried about who can see this account and who was blocking him. I will go no further than that. I don't want to speculate about things that I'll never know the answer to and that I can't look at logically, but I will leave it there. So again, mod says verifying their identity is impossible, much less the truth of the story. So here's the facts of the case, guys. You have to take this for what it is, but this is why I wanted to look at this logically rather than going into just conjecture about what may have happened with his account getting deleted. All of the things that he is talking about here, the anatomy, the DNA analysis, the gene sequencing, nobody would be able to talk about these things openly and do a question and answer session on some of these things without being well versed in this kind of technical knowledge. What would have to happen logically for this to be a hoax? This person would have to have an advanced level of education and technical knowledge in molecular biology, genetics, and anatomy. He would have to be a very clever fiction writer to be able to fool someone with an advanced degree in environmental science like myself. Even though I'm not a molecular biologist, this is this is crafted in a convincing enough way to be believable from my perspective. There are other scientists in the comments who kind of take the same stance that I do. I don't know who those scientists are, so I can't lend any credibility to their account, but it is what it is. He would also have to have enough knowledge of government workings to know that the Battelle National Biodefense Institute, which I have never heard of, Fort Detrick, which I have never heard of and never been to, that these type of laboratories even exist in the first place. So again, add that to the list of things that are kind of hard to fake. And on top of all of that, he has to want to fool people on purpose. So again, the logical steps that have to all be true for this to be a hoax, it starts getting less and less believable that somebody with a molecular biology background also has knowledge of these facilities just decided to put a random, really a random thread on Reddit in the hopes that somebody would pick it up just to fool people. And then it ended up getting shadow banned, and then he deleted his account. All of these things, logically, when you put them together, it makes it really hard to believe that somebody is just messing with us on this. So, not impossible. Don't want to veer off too much into conspiracy land here, but I think this might be the real deal. So, I'm going to keep diving into the story and trying to figure out what I can. But I just wanted to get this out there to you guys, that this person may actually be who they say they are. So, stay tuned. I'm going to keep making videos about this. This opens up a whole plethora of ideas we could talk about the morphology of the aliens, the scientific implications that this has to change everything we know about the universe, everything we know about biology, DNA, the origins of life. Right now I could think of 100 different video ideas I could do about this, but we're going to keep digging into the story because I really think it's fascinating, and I hope that you guys do too. And if you do, please make sure to hit that subscribe button so I can keep bringing these videos to you, and we'll see you on the next one.